When I was 17, I would drink and party with my friends. And then the summer after I graduated high school, I started taking pain pills. And it started as that, and then it moved to heroin, and then it got really deep into heroin and everything else. And then I was on heroin for about 6 years. I'd wake up. If there wasn't a way to use right then, I couldn't get out of bed, so I would go back to sleep until something came up because I was too sick. And then whenever something came up, I would go out, get high, come back in my room, go to sleep, and then do it again the next day. I pushed myself away from my family a lot. Like when I was going through that, I would come home and just go right upstairs because I stayed with them some of the time. And every time the sirens would go, like she would hear police sirens, she would call me. Every single time, she heard of anything happening, she would call me. It just hurt them a whole lot. Well, I was terrified to tell my parents, because I had a baby before I was married. And so I got pregnant. November 2017 is whenever I found out. And I'd always thought, once I get pregnant, I'll never use again. I'll stop. That's what I'd always told myself. I will never use once I have a baby. Well, then I became pregnant and I had a drug addiction. So it was like way harder. And so I was clean for a couple months after he was born. And then I started using again. But I wasn't a good mom until I had used because I didn't have the energy or anything to do anything. And so after, 9 months, 10 months, I knew that I was going to lose my son if I didn't. And I didn't want him to ever grow up seeing me getting high and him use one day. Like, that was my biggest fear. I actually had this girl that I had grown up with. She came here. Her name was Allie. She came here before. And so I had known about it then, but God kept putting it on my heart every day to come here. And I was like, I'm not going there. I'm not doing that. I'm not going for a year. But it was every night. And then it'd be in the morning, in the afternoon, and the night. And it just kept being laid on my heart over and over. I would even text his dad and tell him there's this place that I could go to. But then I would rush over to his house and delete the message before he saw it so he could hold me accountable. And then it just got God was saying it louder and louder. And then my mom had found some drugs at the house, and I usually lied to her, but I was done. I just told her everything. I said, listen, I'll go to this place. Just gave up. I called my mom the second day and I was like, Mom, I can't do this. I said, you gotta come get me. And she said, we've enabled you too much, so we're not doing it. I said, Mom, I will walk out of this house. She said, well, that's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to walk. And I'm so glad that, because it took me it took me a little bit at first to get used to, and then I would just pray God, if this is where you want me to be, please change my heart about being here. And then it happened, and then I had my first visit, and that was my plan, to go home. The whole time I was like, I'm just gonna go home my first visit. But then I saw myself being changed, God was changing my heart and changing who I could look in the mirror for the first time and not hate the person that I was looking at. And so I know if in my first month, if God could do that, I would really wanted to know what he could do in 12 months. And my family, they've never been more proud of me in my life, so it makes it all worth it. It really is the best thing that's ever happened to me coming here. Growing up, my parents were Assemblies of God pastors, and I was called to be a missionary whenever I was really young, and I turned away. And I felt like one day God was saying to me, I tried to help you, but you kept saying you want to do it your own way. And then that's where it got me, is here. So now it's I always told my parents, that relationship with God isn't my thing. That's just, I can't do that. That's what other people do. And then now I'm here and I want to read my Bible. I've never, growing up in a Christian home, yeah, I did everything and I had a relationship with God, but it's never been like this, because it means so much more, because I've done so much bad things and he still wants me. And so it's now I'm excited to learn more, and I'm excited to read my Bible and share it. When my son's sleeping at night, I'll read my Bible over him, and I've never, ever thought I would do that again. I never thought I would come back to this. So it's I used to always feel alone, and now I don't, since I got a relationship with God, a real relationship. I've always heard people say, when they were clean, if I could do it, then anyone could do it. And I used to think, if I was ever clean and if I actually did it, then really anyone can do it in the whole world. And it's hard, and it's the hardest thing. And, yeah, the first couple months are going to be horrible, but it's so worth it in the end. Like, there really is, like, you know, a rainbow over the storm. Like, it gets better and there's a way out. You know, you can get help with your kid and it's worth it.